Yeah! Ho-ho! Oh, yeah. What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Killjoy Jake YouTube channel. I'm your host, as always, Larissa. That is my name. Hello. What do you know? There's another Larissa in the chat. What a coinky dink, as they say. All right, this music's too bumping. Ugh! I go nuts. I go nuts listening to that. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the Scream Stream of the Week. Did we do one on Monday? Maybe. Don't worry about it, because we're talking about Scream and how Larissa has the same name as me. What's up, Celestia? How's it going? I just finished watching Redfield. I hope you enjoyed it. It's very fun. Had a very fun time with it. Had a good time. What's up, everybody? Welcome. What's up, Russell? How's it going? Yo. Hi. That's my name. Don't wear it out. Killjoy Larissa. Jason's here saying, what's up, Mr. Jake? Hope you're having an awesome night. I hit that like button. I appreciate that, Jason. Thank you. Thank you for the support. It helps out. Hitting the like button. Thank you. The Horror Den is here saying, I've caught 3 lives this week, and I'm well chuffed with myself and Mr. Jake. Nice. 2 YouTube and 1 Insta Live BTS. I'll say it again. Jake has been killing it with his work. Props to you. Thank you so much, Horror Den. I don't know if I should be saying this yet, but I got a big old nasty update channel-wise coming on Monday. Hopefully y'all like it. I hope. Fingers crossed, but it's what we got to do to keep the channel alive. So, big update on Monday. Check it out. You guys will see that. Aaron is here. What's going on, Aaron? Saying, did you dye your hair, bro? I did not, but it looks a little different, I guess, today. I don't know. I'm letting it do its thing. I'm letting it grow out. Who knows? Who knows where I'm going with it? Why cut it if I don't have to, you know? Fuck it. Let's have some fun. Delican. I'm really bad with names. Delican, what's up? If you thought Stu coming back was crazy, well, guess what, everybody? We got some Scream news. That's why we're here tonight. That's why we're here. That's why we're having fun, talking little horror and all that. We got a big update on the Scream franchise, so a group hello to everybody. We'll say more hellos to people in just a second here, but I do want to give you guys some updates. That's why we're here talking a little bit about Scream tonight. So Drew Barrymore has recently given a very far-fetched idea about her Casey Becker character from the original Scream, of course, talking about how maybe Drew Barrymore's character could have survived the original Scream. Maybe she's in hiding with Stu somewhere, you know? I don't know, man. But yeah, so she goes into an interview and says something to the degree of, I wish I was alive still. It'd be funny. I think her exact quote was, it's funny, I've never thought of it this way, but I'm pretty sure a C-section is comparable to what happened to her. Like literally, and I'm here, I'm fine, so maybe Casey Becker will be okay. She's also had a C-section, there you go. I don't know. Obviously that's probably not gonna happen, but I love Drew Barrymore. She's so sweet. She's America's sweetheart, okay? I love Drew Barrymore. She's great. Wonderful. Don't think that'll happen. But if Drew Barrymore is involved with any future Scream movies, of course I'm there. Of course I'm there day one to support my girl. Of course. That's hilarious. Little funny back and forths on Twitter I've been seeing about that. Everyone seems to be of the consensus that no, she shouldn't come back. Kind of retroactively ruin things from the original film. But I love her spirit. Damn it. Ugh, I love it. I love keeping the love alive for this wonderful franchise. Okay, so we got some bigger things to talk about, though, which I'm probably going to do a big video on next week, is Radio Silence's next movie, which will now be starring Melissa Barrera, which I kind of wanted to update you Scream fans on, which I'm sure you might be interested in, considering they may or may not do the next Scream film. We don't know that yet. We don't know what's going on. No announcements have been made yet. I do want to talk a little bit about that, but real quick, Michael Parton is throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much for that support. I really appreciate it. Saying, hey, Jake, will you be covering CinemaCon's new horror film projects being announced soon? Any horror news can get covered on this page, Michael. I covered basically every update from this past week because I'm insane, but I will try to cover this as well just for you. And I had a few requests asking to do a review of The Pope's Exorcist, which I was going to go see last night, but it didn't seem like there was that much interest until I had some messages from a few of y'all out there. So I will be covering that as well. I'm going to go see that this weekend and try to get a review out for you. But this, I will. I'll check this out for you, Michael. I'll check this out. I don't know too much about it at the moment, but I will look into it. We'll do some research on it. and cover it. It'll be fun, man. Like I said, trying to keep this horror in general page. I love talking the Scream stuff, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of other franchises I love to talk about too. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of stuff on this page moving forward. Maybe even beyond horror, and maybe that's part of the update on Monday. So you'll have to see, Michael. You'll have to see what we're talking about. I appreciate the $5, though. Thank you so much for that support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But yeah, let's get back on track. Then, like I said, we'll talk comments and all that. Let's just get the news out there so everyone's caught up to speed. Because I may have a little bit of an update myself on this too, which is interesting. Thank you to Kay on Twitter for that, by the way. So, like I said, Radio Silence is on board to direct a untitled monster thriller at Universal. Something about the classic Universal monsters coming into play here. Now, where is the thing? Let's get this. Let's throw this up on the screen because this is pretty interesting. So the production weekly for this got announced, and you don't really need to read any of that except for the very bottom. The working title is Abducting Abigail, but at the very bottom there, let's read a little bit about the plot description for this bad boy that is yet to be announced publicly, really. The thriller follows a young girl, Abigail, probably Melissa Barrera, who is abducted from her Boston brownstone in order to get ransom from her wealthy but shadowy father figure. What seems like an easy kidnapping job, of course, turns out to be far more to deal with than her captors could have imagined. And at the very bottom there, you might notice something that says AKA Dracula's daughter. Ooh. So if Renfield wasn't enough for you, we got some more Dracula shit going on. And Radio Silence, I believe, is doing the next Dracula thing. I mean, we got Dracula coming, the Demeter or whatever, that trailer just came out yesterday. There's so much Dracula shit right now. So there's going to be even more of it coming out probably next year at some point. And Radio Silence is doing it. Look at that. Thank you to Kay on Twitter for that little update too. I really appreciate that. What do you guys think about that though? Radio Silence doing a Dracula movie essentially. Dracula's Daughter, which if you're unfamiliar with, we'll talk a little more about that original movie from 1936 because it sounds really interesting. I've never heard of it. Follows Dracula's daughter, like I said. And she's kind of like fighting this bloodthirst she has. Like she doesn't like it. She wants to get rid of that essentially as part of the plot synopsis here, which I won't bore you with. This is a Scream stream after all. I know some of y'all are here for that. But I thought I'd give you an update on that in case you were wondering, well, why is Radio Silence not doing Scream 7? What's going on here? I want to know. I want to know more about this. Well, there you go. Bam. You have an update. Ilum is here saying, hi, Jake, it's Ilum. Thanks for the $2, Ilum. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Ilum Selena Horna. Your full government name there. Welcome. Thanks for the $2. I appreciate that. Thank you. Denisha's also here. Thanks for the $2, Denisha. And thanks for being a mod, and thank you for being a Killjoy cult member. Yeah, Denisha's the best, everybody. Hey, Jake Mod is here. Happy Friday. Welcome, Denisha. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Thanks for the $2. Thank you. But yeah, if you're curious about like what's going on with the Scream team, why are they not making Scream 7? This movie's making a bunch of money. Why wouldn't they make another one? Well, there you go. The big Universal deal, Dracula's Daughter is what I'm guessing it's going to be. Maybe a new take on that. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Radio Silence to be doing something fresh, though. I think is the big thing. I said in a video recently, I'm just glad they're not getting sick of, like, the same old. Because I can imagine doing, like, the same thing 2 movies in a row, essentially. You know, it starts to get a little, like, okay, you know what, we want to do something else. I get that. So I'm excited for them to be diving into some new territory here, making another... I don't want to say original, because that's not true if this is, like, a Dracula's Daughter remake, continuation, reboot, whatever. But I'm into it, man. I'm into it. I'm down for it. What else? What do we got on that? Green Gaze is saying Casey Becker being alive is as bad as the zombie fisherman, and I'll always know what you did last summer. That's a bad twist. I'll tell you what. What's up, Russell? How's it going? Aaron saying imagine being the daughter of Billy and Dracula. Yeah, there you go. Perfect casting. It's a role she could slip right into. The daughter of something evil. Ooh. Hollywood Guy is throwing $5 in there. Thank you so much, Hollywood Guy. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Saying if Radio Silence is not back, let's say, and we get a new team, are we going to get a continuation of Scream or a new reboot? Your thoughts? Great question, honestly. This is one of those things that I feel like is going to be up in the air until we really get some news about it. If I had to guess, I would imagine we would do something where it's a continuation. Like, I'm leaning towards continuation because we just did a reboot. Like, we just did, like, a soft reboot, essentially, with new characters being the focus and all that. So, yes, I imagine it would be that. it really depends on the creatives involved. Like, I think if it's going to be something like I've been really lobbying for Christopher Landon to do it next. Like, if it's not going to be Radio Silence, Christopher Landon, I think, would kill it with a Scream movie. I mean, watch the Happy Death Day movies and tell me he wouldn't love to do a Scream film. So I think that he would pick up the pieces where we're at and then tell another story with the same characters. Hopefully, and I hate to say this because I really do love these characters, but hopefully he would kill some of them, which is maybe my biggest criticism of the Radio Silence movies. I do really love them, but like, y'all got to kill some characters now moving forward. I think we've set up that emotional bridge. I have that now. I love these characters. I love these guys. They're awesome. The core four is wonderful. They successfully sent new characters into legacy character status, and for that I applaud them. But now I'm excited for them to shockingly kill one of them in the next movie. So that's what I'm looking for in a Scream 7. I think it doesn't really whoever does it, just as long as you get something like that out there, I'll be happy personally. If it's Radio Silence again, hell yeah, I'll be losing my mind, jumping for joy, doing backflips, because who knows what the hell's going on with it right now. But if it's Christopher Landon, if it's somebody else, I'm into it. I'll stay open-minded until I see the bad boy. Hollywood Guy, though, I do really appreciate it. Once again, I'm going with continuation here. We just did a reboot literally in 2022. Don't think we're doing it again so soon, personally. Jason Carpenter's throwing $2 in there. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate that. And thank you for being a channel member, too. Thank you. Saying maybe a break between Scream 6, Scream 7 is a good thing. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't want someone to just rush out another movie for sure. Like, absolutely. My thing right now though is I just don't want these movies to stop. Like, I don't want them to just be like, okay, we're done. You know, we did 2 Scream movies. Let's move on to something else. I want them to be actively in development with something, and obviously nothing is known to the public as of right now. I also think that Scream is hot right now again, where Scream 4 failed to do that. Scream 5 did it successfully. People really liked Scream 5, and then people even like Scream 6 even more. General consensus is how I'm talking. So I guess my point is now, while it's hot, strike, because this opportunity may not come again is another thing on my mind right now. Because I get that. I do get the idea of a break being a good thing, but I'm also just I'm concernicus about all the stuff going on in the space right now. I just don't. There's so much horror. There's so much horror goodies right now. I wouldn't want just people to forget about Scream and move on to the next thing because of how much big shit is happening in the horror universe right now. So, Jason, though, I do appreciate the $2, and once again, I do hope they take their time on Scream 7. I don't want them to rush anything out. That would suck. Chrissy Blackwell is here. Oh my, Chrissy, thank you for being a Patreon supporter. I appreciate you, and thank you for the $10. You don't have to do that, but it means a lot. Thank you. Thank you for the $10. Welcome. Welcome to the Scream stream. Scream stream of the week. Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it. What else we got here? Nate is saying, I think it would be cool if the third act of Scream 7 is at Casey Becker's house. That would be a great location. I love the location. Johnny Gomez is saying I'm going to be there opening night for Dracula's Daughter. Seems like it's going to be Dracula's Daughter. I'm into it, man. I'm down for some more. After Renfield, I'm really feeling vampires again. I know there was like some exhaustion with vampires, but I'm like, okay, that was pretty good, man. I could use some more of that. 30 Days a Night, man. That's one of the most underrated vampire movies ever. We need another movie like that right now, I think. Like a modernized 30 Days a Night would be a lot of fun. Ethan is saying, if Neve Campbell comes back, all I ask for is for her to mention Tatum something to do with her. They were besties. You know? Would love her to just be like, miss that Tatum. Miss that old Tatum person. Something like that. I like it, though. Eric is saying, how can Casey come back when she's canonically dead? Exactly, my friend. As we talked about before, the only reason I'm putting that in the title is because Drew Barrymore mentioned it recently. I just think it's really funny. I think it's so sweet. How can we be mad at America's sweetheart? America's sweetheart Drew Barrymore talking about bringing her character back. It's like, that's wonderful, but of course it's not going to happen. I love that she's still actively involved with the franchise. She had a little voice cameo in Scream 5, which was cool, but I wouldn't want them to bring back. You guys know how I feel about that, though. I've talked about that many times, why I don't think Stu coming back would actually be good. Same thing works with Casey Becker. It's the same thing in my mind. Gangster Bro is saying, do you think analog horror fits in the cinematic form? This is tough. Kind of depends on your definition of analog horror. This is new ground we're stepping into here. Probably the biggest example of this right now is Skinamarink. Probably the most divisive film of the entire year, Gangster Bro, is what I'll say. I'm vibing with it so far, but there's some stuff not as much. Skinamarink I liked, I enjoyed it. I think it, it wasn't like, this wasn't like a perfect, amazing horror classic or anything like that, but I had a fun time with it. It was very different. It was very experimental. It challenged some things about film that I thought would never work, and in some areas it succeeds, and I thought that was really cool. We need movies like that. We need movies to challenge the norm, or else everything's just gonna fall into the same old. So we need movies like Skinamarink to challenge those ideas, or else we're falling flat. We're just doing the same thing over and over again, and that sucks. We don't need that. We don't need that. That would be ass. Hollywood guys throwing $2 in there. Dracula versus Ghostface. Yes or no? What about a vampire Ghostface? Listen, that's ridiculous, of course, but we always talk about how we don't want a supernatural Ghostface. That ruins Ghostface. Like, well, the idea of the character is that it could be anybody. Anybody could be behind that mask, and it's usually a real life human being, which makes it even scarier. But at the same time, Dracula versus Ghostface, little Ghostface vampire. Are we gonna get into ridiculous territory this quickly though in the franchise? By entry 7, are we getting into ridiculous, campy insanity? I mean, we've kind of already done that a little bit here and there, but still. I think it's funny though. I'm always down for some versus movies. We need more of them. I miss Freddy versus Jason. I miss movies like that. We need another good versus movies, especially with this horror renaissance we're in right now. That would be a lot of fun, Hollywood guy. So, yes, thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. Oh, what the hell is going on with my hair today? There we go. Now it looks better, right? Yeah, no. Okay. We're gonna do this. There we go. I guess. I guess that looks better. There. Ilum's throwing $5 in there. I really appreciate your guys' support tonight. Thank you so much. Been freaking out about YouTube stuff lately, and you guys just calm all my worries about this shit. Saying, I hope they do Scream 7. I hope we learn something new about Randy. That would be really cool, actually, to build off of the character still, even though in death, maybe there's something else about him. I've been talking a lot about how I would love for another VHS tape to be discovered. You're telling me the guy only left one VHS tape? Like, that's it? Yeah, just one VHS tape of him talking about, I banged Karen Kolchak or whatever at the video store. You're telling me you only did that once? Come on. There's more videotapes out there of Randy. I thinks, at least. Give me more Randy VHS, and then we can have Stu come back. Then we can have Tatum come back. Then we can have, like, every character you want to come back in VHS form. We could keep doing that, too. Why not? If it serves the plot, why not? I am already hot in this bad boy. Oh! Can you see me sweating? I can. But yes, VHS Stu or no Stu is typically my opinion on this, and same thing with bringing back characters. Like we don't need characters to still be alive in the universe. I don't think there's a magic to finding somebody new under the robe, under the mask every single time. It's cool. It makes Scream stand out. It's one of those special things about this franchise that we don't need to meddle with. If it's not fixed, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it's not fixed, don't broke it. That's what everyone says about that anyway. So Ilum, thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Let's build off of Randy a little bit. What else from the past can we pull, because this franchise is obsessed with it? Obsessed with the past coming back to haunt you. We got to do that in every entry is what I've learned from my time talking about Scream. Perry's throwing $5 in there, saying, would you be down with a found footage Scream? I don't know how it would really work though. We attempted that a little bit with I almost said Five Nights at Freddy's. With Red Right Hand, we attempted that. If I could go back and rework some stuff with the whole found footage angle in Red Right Hand, I would do it a little differently. I would do like more of it in shorter bursts, if that makes sense. I think that's the only way a found footage Scream movie would work. Because we used it as like a style choice, as like it's almost like a peek behind the curtain or whatever of a Ghostface killer. Like every time they're presenting themselves like a human being, and I'm definitely not the killer. It's typical cinematic format, whatever. But then when it's like behind the scenes, they're talking just normal about all the dirty, nasty shit that they're planning. You see it in found footage. So that's like. That would be I'm staying consistent here. That's what I would also do if they were to do a found footage Scream movie at some point in the future. Show me the killer's perspective. Still have a mystery if possible, but show me the killer's perspective in a new movie. There's a lot of ground we can still cover in future Scream movies, which is why, I've seen a few comments from people saying, like, some franchises need to end before they get into the insanity territory, but there's so many things you can pull from Scream. There's a reason we talk about this all the time. There's a reason us horror YouTubers talk about this franchise specifically all the time, because it's so interesting. There's so many different things you can pull from, looking at all the different killers from this franchise too, and like how their minds work, how they planned things out, where they fucked up. There's so much you can talk about. There's so much you can expand upon with future killers and future just ideas, whatever. That's why I'm like, man, keep it coming. Keep these movies coming. Just give us fresh ideas. Give us things we haven't seen before. That peek behind the curtain that I've been talking about with the ghost face killers. We got a taste of that. In the last movie, but I would love a whole film of that personally. That would be really cool. I'd lose my mind. It would be so different. So unbelievably different. Perry, thank you for the $5 though. That's how I think a found footage Scream would work. I like found footage. I really do. There's a lot of bad found footage movies, but there's a lot of good ones too. The good ones stick out big time. I think of As Above, So Below is such a good movie. Like, nobody talks about that, and it's excellent. It's basically Indiana Jones meets like Wreck meets a bunch of other bullshit. I really like it. It's a killer found footage movie. Nobody talks about it. Record, Wreck, whatever you want to call it, that one too. That whole franchise is amazing. Creep. There's so many good found footage movies, but at the same time, then you get a plethora of bad ones that it's like, oh, geez. But the cream of the crop, that 10% cream of the crop, though, is amazing. Love them. So it would be tough. It would be tough to make a whole found footage Scream movie, though. I don't know if that would work personally. Lighting Ghost is throwing $5 out there. Thank you for being a Killjoy cult member. Saying, did you see the movie coming to Peacock that's going to... Yes. We got to talk about this, actually. So... I can't remember if this is a movie. Was this a movie or a TV show? I can't remember. But it's called Bupkis. It's got Pete Davidson in it. And Art the Clown is also in it. Which you're probably like, what? Is this like a Terrifier thing? What's going on here? I really don't know. I know that Pete Davidson is a huge Terrifier fan, apparently. I've heard that from like people or whatever. And for some reason, Art the Clown is in this series, and it's about like Pete Davidson's life or something like that. I couldn't tell you. Art the Clown makes an appearance or something. I think it's just because Pete Davidson really likes Terrifier. That's my guess. So I'm into it. I'm super excited for it. Anything with Art the Clown, I mean, I'm gonna watch. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna check it out. I'm not really huge on Peacock at the moment. They have yet to impress me with really any original or anything that they've done, but I'm into it. I'm down. There's a lot of Pete Davidson hate, but I'm like whatever on him. I'm not like losing my mind if Pete Davidson's in something, but I'm not like, oh God, Pete Davidson. Jeez. A lot of people hate him though. I don't get the hate, but I'm not really on the love train either. But yeah, I'm lukewarm. I'm lukewarm on the fella. I'm gonna check this out though for sure. Lightning Ghost, thank you for the $5 though. I do appreciate it. You might be right. You just might be right, Hollywood guy. That's what I should do. Oh, I have all these beanies just hanging out over there. This handful of beanies. I got this creep show beanie at Horror Hound recently. So fuck it, we're gonna put that on, Hollywood guy. Oh, sometimes you can't win. You can't win with the hair sometimes, and that's all right. Ugh. Like I said, I'm gonna let it grow. Why not? I had long hair before, but I didn't know how to do long hair, I think, back then. But why not? We're gonna try it out. We're gonna see what happens. Hollywood guy, thanks for the $2, and thank you for the advice, because this looks a lot better. It might be middle of April and it's 70 degrees outside, but that's okay. That's all right. We can still rock the beanie. As Above, So Below and Cloverfield are my absolute faves. I love Cloverfield too. Kaiju found footage movie. Killer idea and great execution. If you guys haven't seen that one. Really good. Least favorite horror subgenre. I'm really sick of honestly, I was going to go see The Pope's Exorcist last night, and I was like, man, I don't even know if I want to see this movie. I don't even know if I care. Like exorcism movies, right now it's my least favorite. Like, there are a lot of great movies in that genre. One of my all-time favorite horror movies is The Exorcist. But man, I haven't seen something in that subgenre in a very long time that's impressed me. The last one was, I never remember the name of this one, but they're like live streaming exorcisms and all that, and then a real something happens and it just goes completely off the rails. Killer movie, and I can't think of the name of it. But I'm sure one of y'all knows it. I've talked about it before. Your white shirt is blinding me. Oh, just a beam of light coming right from my boobs and my nipples, you know? Right here. I love it. I love it, man. That's hilarious. Sarah Campbell, by the way, is inspiring me for a video I'm going to be putting out this weekend for Killjoy cult members. Going to be doing a review of Frailty, a movie that Sarah has been begging me to watch for a long time, and I'm so glad that I finally did, because it's a banger. It's like a 10 out of 10 movie, in my opinion. Wow. Blew my fucking mind. Like, I was super tired after a stream the other day. I'm like, I just want to go to bed, you know, and I'm like, but I gotta watch this. I gotta watch this movie. Sarah says it's good. I gotta watch it. So I watched it, and it's insane. If you've never seen Frailty, I can't stress it enough. Watch it. It's a banger. The Cleansing Hour. Thank you. Sarah's even coming in clutch with that too. The Cleansing Hour is one of the better exorcism movies I've seen in a long time. That was really good, but nothing else has really impressed me too much, unfortunately. But yes, Frailty review this weekend for Patreon supporters. And then I'll have something for Jason Tier and Freddie patrons soon as well. We're working on a lot of little secret projects. And like I said, I'll have a big update on just the channel in general and Patreon stuff on Monday. Bombay Productions is saying, imagine if there's a copycat killer in Scream 7. And in the third act, the killer has killed a lot of characters. Jill appears saying, someone taught me this a long time ago. Don't fuck with the original. It's Jill again. She's hanging out. I love Jill. Jill's a great killer, man. I think she's amazing in Scream 4. I would love for her to not be dead if she was still alive. Imagine if we had that original Scream 4 ending. That would be awesome. But we have what we have, and I'm okay with it. I'm vibing with it. You know, I love that we have Jill. We have this character in existence, and that makes me a happy fella. It does. It really does. Horror Tori is saying, I don't get it either, but I know people who have met him and they say he was an asshole. So who knows? I don't know what you're talking about. Couldn't tell you what you're talking about, but I apologize if you met someone and they were an asshole. I have been through that before, unfortunately, and it's always very sad. It's always very sad to find out. The sequel to Ouija was fun. It was. Mike Flanagan directed it. I think it's way better than the original Killer movie. One of those rare sequels that blows the original out of the water, in my opinion. Ooh, Godzilla's telling me something about Insidious. The Insidious trailer is coming soon. Yes, it is. I can't wait for this. When this drops, I'm going to be doing a full video on it because I am so excited for Insidious 5. My little tiny head is going to explode. I can't wait. I love those movies. They're so ridiculous. I gotta watch them. I gotta watch this new one, I guess is my point. But, I don't know, a lot of people shat on that last one. A lot of people were like, the fourth one wasn't that good. It made like 100 and something million at the box office, though. So the numbers don't lie, as they say. How much did this make again? I remember reading about this. And it's like, oh, this is like the most successful one of the franchise or something like that. 167 million at the box office. The fourth entry in a franchise like that. It out of nowhere just makes this a shit ton of money. Adam Robital directed it too. Pretty underrated director. I don't know. I really liked it. It's got pretty low scores. A lot of people pan it, but I thought it was fun. I liked it. It was a good time. It wasn't awful. Sarah, thank you so much for throwing that out there too. I appreciate that. Thank you. I got to do a big review on that. I can't believe, like, I've seen a lot of movies recently where I'm like, how the fuck did I miss this? Like, these are so good. That was one of them. I'm trying. There's a bunch of Thousands movies I missed because I was a child when all these were coming out. It was nice. It was nice seeing them. Do you think Danny will be the opening kill if we get a Scream 7? That's a good question, Gunner. I don't see him living through another movie, I'll be honest. He didn't have, like, the craziest introduction, in my opinion. I don't, like, hate his character or anything like that. He's a little too understanding, I think, of the situation. It makes me very suspicious of him. But at the same time, I'm curious to see what they do with it. If his character goes somewhere else, if he ends up being a killer in the future, or if he ends up just being an opening kill at some point. And that would, of course, that would get Sam invested again if her longtime boyfriend dies, something along those lines. Sure. Why not? Villain killing Dylan is in the house. What's up, VKD? I feel like I'm announcing a wrestler entrance. VKD, undefeated, coming to take back the title. Welcome. Ty is saying, seeing Renfield tomorrow, I chose that over The Pope's Exorcist. I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I don't know, man. Like I said, Exorcist movies, I'm really starting to get... That's another one I'm pretty worn out on. I feel like every 4 months or so, there's another exorcism movie that just looks exactly the same as every other exorcism movie I've seen, and this just looks like more of that. But I'm going to go into it. I'm going to check it out this weekend. Had some people ask for a review, so I'm going to make it. I never made a John Wick 4 review, and I still regret that. I wish I could have made that. I feel like that is kind of gone and went, though, at this point. Gonna try to start hitting all the movies, all the ones all of them. I want to see all of them, instead of just the ones I'm excited for. Hollywood Guy is saying, Jake, are you a fan of the Cheese Fest called The Gate? It was good when I was younger. The Gate. Which one's The Gate? This sounds familiar. 1987, The Gate. Stephen Dorff is in it. I've heard that name before. When Al and Glenn's parents leave town for the weekend, Al uses the opportunity to throw a party while little brother Glenn and his friend Terry, I love the name Terry, decide to explore a hole left by a tree removal service in the backyard. When unexplainable phenomena begin occurring, Terry, with the help of his extensive heavy metal music collection, comes to the conclusion that he and Glenn have accidentally opened a gateway to hell. Okay. Fuck it. Why not? I'll check it out. I've never seen this before, but it sounds insane. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds a little corny. It sounds a little Deathgasm-y. If you guys have ever seen Deathgasm, sounds a little bit like that to me. I'm into it. What's up, Neems? How's it going? Hi, Sir Jake. Hello there, Neems. Welcome to the Scream stream. Why is Casey in the title? I'll tell you. We got a big ol' update. Drew Barrymore is teasing that maybe Casey Becker could come back for a future Scream 7, but I don't know about that. She's pretty dead. I think that would retroactively ruin one of the coolest opening scenes in horror movie history, but listen, it's just let Drew Barrymore say what she wants to say. It's fine. Who cares? I don't think they're actually going to do something like that, but who cares, man? It's goofy. I love Drew Barrymore too. It's one of those things where I would love for her to come back. She's an amazing actress. Everything I've ever really seen her in, I think she's excellent. But yeah, like it would ruin that scene, and that would suck. I wouldn't want that. Bobby Joe's also saying, I hope this new crew doesn't ruin our chance of getting Stu back. Keep the hope alive. It can always happen. Anything can happen as long as you put your mind to it. Manifest it. If you could bring back any two previous Ghostface to team up and kill in 7, who would you choose? Any two. So any two comes back for this new movie. Probably I'm trying to think of two people who would want to work together. I would probably do something like Amber. I think Amber and Jill might be a really cool duo. We've never had two girls be the killers too. So that might be fun. I feel like they have similar motives too. Jill would be running the show though if it was those two. I think this is mostly me saying I just want these two characters to team up because they're similar and I think they're pretty underrated killers. Maybe not Jill. Jill's not very underrated. Amber's very underrated though, in my opinion. A lot of people give Amber some shit, but I like Amber. Amber's awesome. So I'm going with those two. Gonna go with those two. What's your favorite scary movie is asking, I would love to see a younger sister or brother of Casey Becker looking for revenge as Ghostface. I almost suspected originally that would be Samara Weaving in 6. My only thing with that is I love the fact that it's always something, it's all like, we've been doing a lot of relative characters in these movies, and I'm ready for some new fresh blood, some new ideas to enter the mix. I like what they did in 6. They built upon something familiar and they did it differently. I appreciate that. But just a full 180 to do something completely different for the next movie would be nice, I think. Just nothing relating to the past. This franchise is very obsessed with that, too. This franchise is very obsessed with, we got to make everything connect. And I feel like with another movie, we might step into a realm where it's going to get convoluted to the point where it's like, how could all of this happen in the same universe? This is nuts when you look at it from far away. So I'm hoping whoever does Scream 7, whoever's doing it, whatever the story is going to be, just give us a whole ass random new direction take for this franchise. I would be so into that. I'd be so down for something that's just like, what? Like, this is a crazy choice to go this way instead of the usual right turn into familiarity. I would love to see something where it's like a killer who's just killing people in a Ghostface robe to stop all this bullshit. It's like, if I kill everyone who's connected to this, it's over. There's no more people to seek retribution. It could almost be like it could be a commentary on that idea exactly. How, like, every single entry, every single sequel is something connecting it to another character from the past or something. You can almost have a character who's noticing that, picking up on it, and being like, "What the fuck? Like, this keeps happening. Why does this keep?" And maybe they get dragged into it. Maybe they do have a personal vendetta too, but like, their end goal is just, if I kill everybody, no one's gonna want to seek revenge, which would be pretty evil. And it'd almost be like they have good intentions, but they're going about it like in just the worst way they possibly can. Something like that would be a lot of fun too. We've seen a lot of villains in this franchise who are just evil sometimes for evil's sake. So I'd like to build on that a little more. Let's go a different route with it. Maybe it's not a parent character who's trying to get revenge. Maybe it's not a niece character who wants fame. Maybe it's not someone who's obsessed with the Stab franchise or a relative, because we've done that a lot. So I want to see something different. Wow, crazy. It's almost like I'm ripping that from something. Yeah, no, it is very Thanos-like. It is very Thanos-like, but there's a lot of characters that have that motive too. Thanos was not the first one to do that. To have good intentions but go about it the wrong way. You can spin it many different ways too. You don't have to do it exactly that way. But something along those lines would be fun. Those are my favorite types of villains, are the ones that that see themselves as the good guy, because I feel like it's a little more believable. Aaron's also saying, I want Christopher Landon for Scream if Radio Silence leaves. Me too. He's my absolute #1 choice. I'd be very into it. Lee Winnell could write an interesting Scream movie. That would be interesting. And nothing, I will say, like, besides Saw, there's not too many movies from his catalog that give me a Scream vibe. And the only reason I say that about Saw is because, like, it has one of the best twists in a movie ever. So he can write a good twist. He's proven that to me. So I'm into that. I'm definitely into that. What would Lee Winnell do with it though? He has such an interesting directorial vision too with his previous 2 movies, like with Invisible Man and Upgrade. Like, I love the camera work too. Like, the camera work in both of those movies are like just absolutely excellent. He has that like crazy fucking, I don't know what it's called. It's like some kind of gimbal, and it's like it just moves in all like 360 directions and all that. It's insane. Like, I've seen some behind the scenes for how they filmed like Upgrade, like some of the fight scenes in Upgrade. It's insane. I would be super down for a Scream movie along those lines. Actually, you know what? If anyone should direct from Ghostface's perspective, that kind of movie, I think it should be Lee Winnell. James Wan and Lee Winnell doing that. That would be awesome. That would maybe be my first choice for that. Kind of spin it in a John Kramer way. Just don't make it the same character, obviously. I'd be into that. Ilham is saying, would you be down if Scream 7, they say Randy, Billy, and Stu knew each other since they were what storyline Scream can... So they did all know each other beforehand. They were all friends. which is why I'm suggesting, like, okay, what if somehow they had filmed a VHS tape, you know, and like Randy was just filming Stu and he's just kind of doing his Stu thing. You could have everyone doing that and have our characters watching it for some reason. Make up something, you know what I mean? It'll bring people to the theaters. Money. That's what we need to keep these franchises alive. There we go. And this would do that. Oh, say like, hey, Matthew Lillard, Skeet Ulrich, and Jamie Kennedy, they're all back for a scene in this movie. People are gonna check it out, even if it's like nothing. Even if it's a nothing movie, people will check it out for just that reason alone. So I get the want. I get the want for bringing these cameras, for bringing these. I read the word camera as I said that. I get the want for bringing these characters back. They're amazing. They're the best cast from any of these movies is definitely the first one. I really do love. I really do love the cast of the new movies for sure, but man, I mean, there's some magic, some lightning in the bottle with that first movie. I'm not sure, you know, I haven't, by the way, I have an extra 4K of Scream and I'm thinking about giving it away, but I don't know how I want to do that. I literally, like, I picked it up and I was like, oh my God, I have this extra 4K and I don't know how I want to give this away yet. But I'm thinking about it. I haven't figured that out yet. I was gonna like, I have something ready and planned for this stream and all that, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, what do I say? The first person to say something really silly and goofy in the chat gets a copy of Scream on 4K or something like that. I don't know. That would be fun. I got my buddy gave me a steelbook of it on 4K, so I'm gonna give this away to somebody. Maybe I'll do it tonight. I don't know. We'll find out. Who needs one? Who needs a 4K of the original? We'll see. Bobby Joe 24 saying silly and goofy in the chat. Aaron's like, I'll take it. What in the butt? That's pretty funny. That's a pretty goofy thing to say there, Aaron. I gotta give everyone a fair shot though. Gotta give everyone a fair shot. Give the Scream on 4K to me, please, please, please. Wrestling God, I appreciate the attempt, but what in the butt's kind of funnier. I'm just saying. That's what we're gonna reduce this stream down to. It's silly poop jokes. Who can say the silliest poop joke? Scooppex is saying, "What's up, Jake? Watching you all the way from I don't even know what that is or where that is, but welcome, Scooppex. Welcome to the stream." Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Wiener balls. Wiener balls is pretty good, Bobby Joe. I appreciate that. What camera did you shoot Red Right Hand on? Planning a fan film myself. Well, it's funny, Gunner. So initially we were just using this camera I have here, just the Canon DSLR. But then about like halfway through planning everything, we found out we had access to a nicer camera. So like half the movie is filmed on a really nice camera and half of it is filmed on this bad boy. But like if you're shooting a fan film yourself, maybe you're doing it with a lower budget and all that, just get a camera. I recommend Canon. I recommend them as a brand. Something a little cheaper though is it called like Lumix cameras? I can't remember if that's the brand name or not, but they're pretty good too for like on the just cheaper side of things. Yeah, Lumix cameras. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So like you can get one of those for like $500. That's way cheaper than like some of the other stuff that's out there. So there you go. Something like that. Depending on what your budget is. If you're going for like, oh man, top quality, get a Blackmagic camera. I mean, that's like, couple grand you're dropping there if you want something real good. But Blackmagic cameras are some of the nicest cameras you can buy, pretty much. I recommend that. I'm gonna try to shoot this next thing on one of those if we can get access to it. And if you don't want to buy stuff too, you can rent it out. Like a lot of people, I remember not knowing this a couple of years ago, but you can like rent all the equipment you need for a shoot. If you need lights, if you need cameras, whatever, like stands, all that bullshit. You just go to a camera shop. Like there's around me. I'm just trying to think of local places. Like there's this place called Pixel Connection up in like Avon, like in Ohio. I know this is like total nonsense to some of y'all, but like that's where I go typically. For like if I'm shooting something, they have a lot of really good equipment. Dodd Camera also rents some stuff. But absolutely. Ilum's throwing $2 in there again, saying, I meant knew each since they were little. Oh, like since they were, okay, since real young. You know, what I will say about that, Ilum, is if Randy, Billy, and Stu knew each other since they were really, really young and little, what I will say about that is it makes the original movie a little more sad. It makes it way more sad, way more tragic, which I kind of like. I kind of appreciate that angle. Could we get a video of all three of them as children running around? How interested was Randy in making movies his whole life? Like, was this a newer thing, or what was going on there? Maybe we could learn that. Maybe we can learn that in VHS tapes that our characters find at some point. That would be fun. I'd be into it. Two of our characters right now are directly related to Randy too, so it wouldn't be too big of a stretch to be able to find some VHS tapes in the attic or some BS. We can make that work. But Ilum, thanks for the $2. I appreciate that. I say yes. I say they probably knew each other, because once again, it makes that original movie more sad and bleak, which I'm a fan of. What do Ghostface and the Mummy have in common? They both have big mouths. Ah, ha, ha. Oh. Okay. I'm kidding. I'm messing with you, Dylan. I'm messing with you. Perry Moberg is saying that they're a YouTube channel member, which I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Welcome to the Ghostface tier. I really appreciate your support, Perry, because now you get access to the big old punch of Kool-Aid, which does not have anything else, nothing else in it besides Kool-Aid powder. I promise you that. And you also get to see a review video this weekend, like I said. So welcome, Perry. I appreciate the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we get a one-word hint on your next project? I'm gonna be honest. Here's what I'll say. Here's what I'll say about it. It's one of those movies that is. It starts as one thing and it turns into something else, and it's insanity. I can't fucking believe we did this script in a way that it's one of those things where I had a vision for something. I'm like, this is how I want this story to flow, and it's ridiculous. And I pitched it to my friends, and they're like, we love that. Let's work on the details. You know, how we get from point A to point B, because it's an insane point A and to an even crazier point B. And we figured that out, and I'm very proud of the script, and I can't wait to start working on it. I can't say, I don't want to say much, because there's a lot of secrecy around this project too. A lot of things that I can't just up and say. I don't even want to give you, I don't even want you to start thinking about it, because it's one of those movies you got to go and do blind. Like, I feel like it's one of those movies you can't know anything about it before you see it. Yeah, but I'm very proud of the script. Like I said, we're in pre-production right now. Yeah, I don't even know what else. I can't give you a word, because we have a title. We do have a title for it, which, okay, here's what I'll tell you. We do have a title, and it's one word. That's all I'll tell you. That's my one word for you, is that there is a singular word. That's all I can say. But I'm really happy with it. I can't wait for you guys. I can't wait to make it. Like, it's something I've been thinking. It's an idea I've had since high school, and we're finally fleshing it out here at age 24. So I'm gonna watch Red Right Hand again. Have a good one, y'all. Thanks for watching it, Bobby Joe. Thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate that. I can't believe we've been going for 50 minutes. I feel like I just started the stream. I love talking with y'all. Oh my God, it's fun. No vodka, Jake? I would die. This stream would be so boring. If I was drinking vodka instead of ginger ale right now, I would be dead. It would be awful. I would just be like, that would be me the whole stream. That would be it. Nobody wants to see that, trust me. Anyway, Aaron is saying, wouldn't it be cool if in the next Scream the killer has a scythe? Oh, okay, to more represent the father death angle, but just for one kill. Yeah, have an opening kill in a barn or some bullshit. You know, why not? We haven't done Scream in the smaller in like smaller town in a while. So I've been talking about how I want the story to get smaller moving forward. So a smaller location too, like a small town USA, middle of nowhere, Midwest or whatever. That could be fun. I'd be into something like that, yeah. I would for sure. But yeah, I am worried about the future of the franchise. I've had a lot of people on Twitter disagree with me, and that's fine. I don't care. That's why we talk movies. We're all going to disagree. We're all going to have different opinions on things, which is great. That's what's amazing about talking about movies. But I am worried. I'm concerned. I do feel like I said, we have this window of opportunity that we tried to open back in 2011 and didn't open. People were not digging it back in 2011. We're digging it right now. We're like, yeah, Scream, let's do this. And it's like, I just feel like we're leaving money on the table right now if we don't make a Scream 7. And I want this IP to be successful. I want them to be like, hey, in the future, 5 years down the line, let's keep making Scream movies. These did well. Let's keep doing that. What did Danny McBride say about Halloween Ends critics? Because he's a very silly fella. I'm sure he had some funny things to say. I did not see this, so hit me with it. Hit me. Justin is saying, yo, Jake, what's up? What do you think the Scream series will do? If Scream 7... Oh, okay, it's just franchise. Gotcha. If Scream 7 is the last of the requel trilogy, what will we do next? That's a pretty good question. I've said this a million times before. There's so many really good Scream ideas I think that would be lucrative out there. Even though I'm not this isn't my number one choice for what we should do next with the franchise, the whole idea of doing a new Nightmare take on Scream, I don't know how that hasn't happened yet. It should happen. Like I said, it's not my number one, that's absolutely what we need to do next with the franchise when we're done with this story. I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but it's one of those ideas where it's yeah, what a great way to honor Wes Craven other than making that movie. That's a great idea. So yeah, I'm that's one. I've pitched 3 of my ideas on here about the Scream franchise that would be great. And we were just talking about one of them, about a killer who's kind of has got a Thanos angle to him a little bit, doing things with good intentions. They want to kill everybody so that no more ghost faces can come about. And it would be kind of a commentary on the franchise itself a little bit, about how most of the time the killer is somebody related to the past or related to a past character, whatever. We could make fun of that a little bit in a new movie, I think. Which would be fun. It would be something different. We haven't seen that yet. It would be a disconnect from every other sequel. Because this franchise deals with a different killer in every single movie, there's so many different routes that we can go with it. And while I did like Scream 6, I still really liked it. It was a blast. I appreciated what they did with a familiar concept. I'm interested in seeing a new movie where they just do something else, where they have another motive, because there's a lot of reasons to kill people, which is really unfortunate. But it's also the truth. So I would love to see more killers, more characters in this franchise getting attacked by Ghostface. And with some of the new things we've set up in this, the last 2 movies, there's so many different angles we can go about it now. We have killers on the internet communicating with each other about finishing Richie's movie. There's so many different motives out there we can fuck around with. I'm really hoping we get some more of that in the future, I guess, instead of just the same motive again from different characters. Hollywood Guys throwing $5 in there. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Saying, can you see in the Scream universe a prequel, maybe a Stu and Billy origin story on how and why they killed except for the mother angle? That could be a lot of fun. My only issue with that is I think it would be really tough to cast. Maybe a young Billy Loomis we could find pretty easily, but someone to play a young Skeet Ulrich and to play Matthew Lillard the same way he was in the 1996 film, that would be a challenge. I would not want to be the person in charge of that if that does happen, because that would be tough. You got to get certain things right. I remember, I'll give you an example. Since I'm talking a little more freely about things I dislike in the world today, Rings of Power, I think, is a perfect example of what you shouldn't do while doing a prequel. And they casted people that don't look like their counterparts from the movie. If it's Lord Elron, mainly Lord Elron, who the guy they chose looks literally nothing like the dude from the movies, which his name is slipping me, Hugo Weaving. And if they do that with Stu and Billy, you got to get someone who looks almost fucking dead on to Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard from 1996. That's going to be tough to do. And another movie that does it actually really well, in kind of not really a prequel and a sequel, sort of, Dr. Sleep, I think does it really well with the casting. They got people that were pretty damn close. I was like, okay, this casting is good. The acting feels very similar to those characters from The Shining. Awesome. 10 out of 10. Loved what that movie did. casting is going to be very important with a movie like that. But I would be into it. Like, I would be down if they found the right person, someone who acts like Matthew Lillard, who kind of resembles Stu a little bit. Sure, yeah, let's do it. Can we get someone that can do that? Is somebody up for the challenge? I'd be into it for sure. Because I think a big thing with this too is, like you said, like why they killed except for the mother angle. Like, we want to know more about this relationship that they have. We don't want them to just tell us what we already know. There would be no point to making the prequel. You'd have to build on their relationship. You'd have to build on like why they did certain things in Scream 96 and why they didn't do other things that maybe would have made more sense. That's what I would want from something like this, answering questions about the original Scream movie opposed to just telling us what we already know. Because some prequels fall into that trap of like, let's just do the same thing again with the same characters, but it's like before all the events of the original. Yeah, let's do that, sure. But it doesn't build. Like, you got to build. I love that about sequels. It's a little harder to do with a prequel, though, admittedly. But I'm into it. I'm always open-minded to prequels. Always open-minded to them. Hollywood Guy, thank you for the $5, though. I do really appreciate the support. Loving the ideas, too. Loving the ideas getting thrown around. That might actually be better as a series, too, depending on what they do with it. Jason Carpenter's throwing $5 in there. Again, thank you. Saying, I'm very close to putting Scream 3 over Scream 4. Scream 4 being my least favorite Scream movie. That final shot in Scream 3 with Sydney is epic. Definitely one of the better parts of it, for sure. I really do like that that whole scene at the end. It's nice. The Gale and Dewey stuff in Scream 3 doesn't feel very earned to me. Like, they definitely have a like a back and forth in the whole romance and all that, but for Dewey to just be like, oh, you want to marry me? Whoa. Every time I watch that, I'm just like, holy shit, Dewey. God damn, y'all went from like a 2 out of 10 to 11. Oh my god. Holy shit. Feels a little out of nowhere, but the stuff with Sydney handled very well. I will say that for sure. But I love Scream 3, as goofy and ridiculous as it is. I do have a very good time with it every single time. So I definitely don't hate it. I love it now. Maybe I didn't at first, but I do now. I don't know if I'd put it over Scream 4, though. The killers in Scream 4 are so good. Specifically Jill. I really like Jill, man. Jill's a very interesting killer to me. But I like it. I like the rating. It's tough to rank this franchise in general. Like, I was having a lot of trouble with it with my video I made a couple weeks ago. Really didn't know where to put 5 either. 5 was one where I was like, I don't know. I love this movie so much, but I also love all of these movies too. It's tough. It's a real tough series to rank for sure. So good luck with that, Jason. I hope you figure out where everything needs to go. But in the end, just remember, all the Scream movies are bangers. Thank you for the $5, though. I do really appreciate it. Where did you get the robe? Where did I get that robe? So Clive Barzilia made it from Burkbench Designs. He's awesome. Killer work too. It's gonna take you a little while to get that robe because he's got to make it. Like, he makes the whole fucking thing from scratch. It's amazing. So it's not gonna be something you get like overnight. I think it took him about 3 months from like when I ordered it to when it came here, because he's got to make it and then he's got to ship it. He's over in I believe the UK somewhere. So that, yeah. But I highly recommend him. He's amazing. He's done robes for a bunch of different fan films too. I believe my friend Salem, if you've seen anything from her fan film, he did the work on that as well. So I recommend it. Check it out. Was there any interesting trailers last time you went to the theaters? I'm trying to think what, because the Renfield I got into a little late. I shouldn't tell this story. I really shouldn't. But there was this family of 5 in front of me at the movie theater, and like I held the door for them. I was trying to be a gentleman and all that, and they almost made me miss Renfield. Like, I walked in as the opening scene was happening. But the last movie I went to go see with trailers before it was the Mario movie, and there's a lot of trailers for movies I hadn't even like heard of that I was like, this doesn't look good. Like a lot of new Disney movies where I'm like, I'm not really vibing with this. Like the Elemental trailer didn't do it for me. A Trolls trailer wasn't vibing with that either. And I really like kids movies. I don't care. Like I like horror movies and I like kids movies, man. I like the most disgusting, vile thing you can put on film. I fuck with that, and I also I love the cute shit too. Give me the sweet lighthearted kids movies as well. I'm very strange in that regard, but those are my two extremes. I loved the Mario movie, by the way. I did a little review on it. Super happy for it. It is officially the highest grossing video game film of all time in just what, like a week and a half? Damn, Mario movie. You crazy. Love it. Scream 4 is still my favorite. Love it. Scream 4 is a banger, dude. Listen, you're making me pick between two of my children here. I hate to be so sure about this take, but like Evil Dead Rise is a 10 out of 10, dude. Like Evil Dead Rise was that was a 10 out of 10 movie. Scream 6, I loved it. I fucking loved it, but it's got little things here and there that are like, could have done that. I think we could have done that better, but yeah, I'd have to go with Evil Dead Rise there, but I love both. Like, I love both movies so much. I will have a more in-depth review of Evil Dead Rise, by the way, next week. Be talking about it early again as well. I want to see it again next week too, because I gotta get a second watch on that. I was like I said, the first time I watched it, I was in a room full of celebrities that I adored, so it was one of the most difficult tasks I have ever had to try to pay attention to that movie and not be like, oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Holy shit. So yeah. I do want to see it again. I don't think I missed anything from the movie, but like I said, during the opening scene, I'm just like, Art the Clown sitting right in front of me. Whatever. You know, I was kind of losing my mind the whole time. I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. But yeah, I do want to see it again. I'm excited for it comes out this week. Go see it on the 20th if you can. See it on Friday or the weekend. It's gonna be it's a fucking, if you like the Evil Dead movies, you're gonna love this film. That's all I'm gonna say. And if Evil Dead 2 is your favorite, you're especially gonna like this film. RJ says I would love to see Dewey come back as a zombie in Scream 7. Okay, hell yeah, RJ. All the power to you. Zombie Dewey. Let's have Zombie Dewey come back. Zombie movie. I would like a sort of Scream movie in the way of Halloween Kills involving the public wanting to go after Ghostface. Maybe on Halloween it goes horribly wrong with many people wearing the costumes. Hey man, that was one of my favorite aspects to Scream 6 was we had so many people dressed up in Ghostface robes running around. It was like, oh fuck, like there's that one jump scare in the movie. Feels a little cheap admittedly, but it's a cool idea. Like this is just a costume to some people and it's traumatizing to others, and that's awesome. I love that. I think that's really cool. Is Evil Dead 2 a soft reboot or a sequel? That's highly arguable is what I will say, but it's technically a sequel. So like the very beginning of Evil Dead 2, and this really doesn't spoil anything, it recaps the entire events of the first movie, but way differently. It says that there was only 2 people involved instead of the 5 from the first movie. It was just Ash and his girlfriend. And yeah, it plays out like a little differently, but pretty much you get to the same ending. It's not like Army of Darkness where the director's cut has an entirely different ending that I did not know about until recently, which I feel like I watched a new Evil Dead movie twice in the same month recently, because I got Army of Darkness director's cut, which is a completely different movie from the original Army of Darkness you know and love, and then also Evil Dead Rise. I feel spoiled. I feel Evil Dead spoiled right now. I'm like, damn, I love this. But it is technically a sequel. Like I said, they fuck with some stuff in the continuity, but literally every movie does that. Like even the Army of Darkness does too, because if you've never seen Evil Dead 2, I don't want to tell you, but the ending of Evil Dead 2 kind of leads right into Army of Darkness, but then once again, Army of Darkness changes some shit. So it's a convoluted franchise, but I still love it. It's wonderful. And I've seen a lot of people who are saying like, man, Evil Dead Rise, like I'm just not into it. You know, Ash isn't going to be in it. They're just not continuing the story anymore. And I'm like, man, go back and watch Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, because they struggle at times to keep that story going. They got to change shit in every movie. But who cares? Like they're all amazing movies. I love them. So I don't know. Me personally, I love what they're doing with the Evil Dead franchise now, because they're realizing they don't need to tell this long ongoing story. I do love that about the original trilogy, but I also love what Evil Dead 2013 did, which said like, hey, this is the universe, the Book of the Dead is still out there, and maybe other people stumble upon it as well. I really like that angle. We got a whole new scenario just involving the Book of the Dead too, and same thing with Evil Dead Rise. Thought that was a lot of fun. And they keep this like punk rock metal feel to it in both of those movies too that I really like. That's very present in Evil Dead Rise too. Another thing I loved about the film. So I don't know. I really think you guys are gonna like this one. I loved it. I think it stands up there with the other films. I don't know where I would rank it in my franchise ranking yet, which that's gonna be really tough because I don't know if I've only seen Rise once. That's my big thing about it. I love those I love all four of those movies so much, and then Rise I've only seen once, and I loved it. It was amazing, but I've watched Evil Dead 2013 maybe 50 times in my lifetime, and it gets better every single time. It is the blueprints for a perfect horror film, in my opinion. It's satisfying with every watch. It's perfect. Great characters, great kills, amazing storyline. Like there's some shit that happened in the movie that's, I don't know, it blows my mind every time I watch it. So it's really tough. It's really tough for me to rank this franchise. I guess is my point, because I love every entry so much. Gangster Bro is saying, dude, there needs to be more horror mockumentaries. It's such an awesome genre. Lake Mungo and Hell House are both peak examples of what can be done with the idea of a dark, eerie documentary. I really liked Hell House. Hell House was a lot of fun. It's a little slow to get into, but once you get into it, it's very, very crazy. That the whole fucking third act is awesome. Some prime found footage right there. Really liked that one. We could use another one of those. Those are fun movies. Did you see the interview on YouTube where Bruce Campbell walked out because this guy in the crowd said you're an idiot in your movie? I did. I did a whole video on this, RJ. Man, I couldn't believe that shit. I was like, what the like, this guy had to get into South by Southwest and then do that shit, and now he's probably banned from South by Southwest. Like, why would you do that? You know, what an idiot, you know? Damn. So fuck him. I have a video that my buddy Sean sent me, and I don't have that. I actually don't have it on here, but I have it on my phone. It's from the other angle. So like the video that went viral of that happening is one from like some guy in like the back row of the crowd, I want to say. And he's kind of filming like the dude and all that, but you don't really get to see the stage all that much. There's another video from that night where someone a little closer to the stage is filming Bruce the whole time. And you've already seen the video. You guys, most of you probably know what I'm talking about. And there's a guy, and the guy just starts going like flipping off the dude. I can't do that on YouTube, but see, I can do that though. He's doing this to Bruce, which sucks. Fuck that guy. But Bruce Campbell's doing it right back at him, which you don't see in that video, and it's very funny. it's like fantastic. I love it. I need to put that on here, so anytime someone's a dick in the chat, I can just throw that up and just be like, there you go. Bruce Campbell says, go fuck yourself. Mesbro Studios is saying, hey Jake, have you heard of a found footage movie called The Alien Report? If not, would definitely recommend it. I have not seen this one, but I've learned from Sarah, who I don't know if she's still here or not, but I've learned from Sarah to take advice from all of y'all, because y'all have some fucking killer movie suggestions. Let me tell you. Frailty, man. Watch Frailty. That's a banger right there. The Alien Report. We're going to report on the alien. I'm writing it down. We're going to watch it, Mesbros. I'm going to watch it. Going to watch it at some point. It'll be fun. Brandon is throwing $2 in there. Brandon, or I want to say Oreo, but I know that's wrong. Orero. Brandon Orero. Welcome. Thanks for the $2. I appreciate that. Yo, what's up, Jake? How do you feel about Saw X? Once again, did a video on this. I'm hyped for it. I'm very hyped for it. Trust me, I get it. Saw 10. You know, you hear a movie, you hear a sequel that late in the game, and you're like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing? Is this still good? Is this still fresh? Are people still excited for Saw? I say yes, personally. I say yes because Kevin Grudert is back directing. He directed Saw 6, which is, in my opinion, the best sequel. I really like Saw 6. It's a banger from start to finish. Has some great, touches on some commentary, has some amazing traps, some really interesting characters, too. I really like that movie. Kevin Grudert has also been with the franchise for a very long time. He edited the first 5 Saw movies. He directed 6 and, admittedly, the final chapter, which a lot of people don't like, and I get that, but give Kevin a chance, okay? Give my boy Kevin a chance here. He knows Saw very well, and there's a flavor missing from the last 2 entries. Jigsaw is easily my least favorite from the franchise. I just wasn't into it. There's so many little clinical mistakes about the film that I don't understand how they were made. It's supposed to be a prequel, technically. And we have flat screen TVs hanging out in this fucking trap room, barn, whatever. What? Like, how do you make that mistake? Especially if you know where the twist is gonna go when you're writing the script, when you're doing the fucking design for the room or whatever. I don't understand how little mistakes like that get made for a movie like that. And Jigsaw, I can't get into it. Just wasn't a big fan of it. Spiral, I like a little better. It's not my favorite from the franchise, but I think it has some really good traps. Very underwhelming twist in my opinion. But overall, it's a pretty decent movie. I enjoyed it. Saw X, I feel like is going to be yet another step up from that last movie, and be something that feels a little more familiar from like the original Saw sequels. I really have high hopes for it. I feel like it's going to be a big standout film, and people are going to be like, oh, actually, this was pretty good. That's what I'm thinking right now. Like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a banger. I really do. I have a lot of faith in this one. Like I said, I really like Kevin Grutert, and I think he's a good director. I think he's going to do a good job with this one. So let's hope it's good, Brandon. I'm hyped for it. Saw X coming out for Halloween this year. Hyped for it. Gonna do a double feature of Saw X and Five Nights at Freddy's. It's gonna be an awesome Halloween. Let me tell you, it's gonna be a good one. Thank you for the $2 though, Brandon. I appreciate that. Watch Hellbent. I've watched Hellbender. Hellbender was good. Hellbent, which one is this one? Hellbent movie. 2004 film. I don't think I've seen this one. Okay. Interesting. A group of gay friends are celebrating Halloween in West Hollywood, California, a neighborhood that's been prowled by a killer wearing a devil's mask. One of them, Eddie, who works for the police, brings the others through some woods to check out a recent murder scene. They do ignore the mask-wearing killer, who follows the group to a club where he starts decapitating them one at a time until the only ones left are Eddie and Jake, a potential love interest. Interesting. I've never even heard of this film before. Who directed it? Paul Etheridge. I've never heard of that name before, but I'll check it out. Hellbent. Interesting. I have seen the Dude Bro Party Massacre. Because Dead Meat did they did a kill count on it. I always try to watch the movies before I watch media, any other kind of media on it, especially like a kill count. I don't want to, you don't want something ruined for you before you see it. Don't give me every single plot detail of a movie I haven't seen yet. That sucks. They should make a Scream 7 and 8 back to back. I mean, I'd be into it. I'd be into that personally. How are you doing today? I'm doing great, Daniels. How are you doing? Thanks for being here. I appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you hanging out with us. An hour and 13 minutes into this. Blucka is saying, Jake, have you seen the trailer for The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Demeter. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's probably something like that. One of the 5 Dracula movies Universal is making in the next 2 years. Yeah, we know Radio Silence is working on one of those now, which is crazy. But I'm interested. I have not seen the trailer yet, but I've heard some good things. It's a period piece, which is typically a turnoff for me, but I'm gonna check it out for sure. There's only a few people that I think can do period pieces really well. A lot of people, in my opinion, get it wrong. But Robert Eggers, I think, is excellent at it. Does that really well. But I'm gonna check this out for sure. Like I said, I've yet to see the trailer. I've been doing so much work this week. I want to cry. But The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I'm excited for it though, man. Like I said, I love vampires, man. Vampires are underrated. Andre Ovredal. Maybe that's how you pronounce that last name. I'm not sure, but I'm into it. I don't know this director either. Oh, Autopsy of Jane Doe. I've seen. Oh my God! Wait, I've seen like all this guy's movies. Okay, hang on. This is the director of the Autopsy of Jane Doe. Very underrated 2016 horror movie. If you've never seen that, excellent film. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark too. That was a really fun movie. I thought that was a lot of fun. I didn't love it, but it was fun. It was a fun time. He's the director of that. Okay. I've heard Troll Hunter is also not bad. Also never seen this. Is this the found footage troll movie? It is. I think it is. Okay. I need to watch that then too. I've heard that's pretty good. But Autopsy of Jane Doe is excellent if none of y'all have seen that. So I will check this out for sure. I do like the director. I was like, oh, I don't know who this guy is. I know who he is. I know this silly guy. This silly dude directed a movie about Dracula on a ship. I know what I'm talking about. Sure, I know what I'm talking about, I guess. Diary of the Dead's one of your favorite found footage films. Nice. Okay. I watched that when I was a kid and it scared me, but I've since watched it as an adult and it's a little too goofy for my taste personally. Sarah Campbell's throwing 5.5 Canadian dollars out there. Sarah, I appreciate that support. Thank you. Saying very important question. Very important. I'm all ears. Have I seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Of course I have. Oh, banger. Banger of a film. Absolutely a required viewing. Makes me laugh every single time. Makes me scream laugh. Ooh, nice. That's good. That's good. That's always fun. I really liked that one. I thought it was really fun. The ending's a little weird in my opinion. That's my only criticism of it, but it's great. It's right up there with Cabin in the Woods for like that. It was during that time period in the thousands where like the meta horror humor thing, it was kind of like starting to go down, and then like right at the late thousands, early 2010s, like it came back real full force and gave us some like legendary movies. This is one of them. Tucker and Dale versus Evil, Cabin in the Woods, the Leslie Vernon movie, which has a ridiculously long title, and it's like The Legend of Leslie Vernon or whatever. Also super underrated, probably the least talked about from those three. All really good films. I really like all of them. They all have something really interesting to say about the genre, if not all being something different too, which I think is fascinating. So yeah, no, absolutely, Sarah. I really like that one. Thank you for the super chat too, by the way. I appreciate it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil is amazing. Too bad they turned down the sequel offered. I wonder what they would have done for a sequel, because it feels like a really good self-contained movie. Like I really like it. It doesn't feel like it's trying to start a franchise. It feels like it got in, it got out, bam, that's it. But I mean, obviously we could have followed the characters again. Could we have done that again in the sequel? I mean, it's very campy. It's very campy. It wouldn't be too far of a stretch to say we could make a sequel to that. For sure. That would be fun. Jason Carpenter unveiling the Scream ranking. Let's go through this. 1 is an OG, untouchable, of course. I get it. I'm right there with you. I feel you. 5 in second place, like it. Unexpected comeback, nice. 6, ultimate popcorn movie. 2, Wes riding that wave of success. I feel that. 3 and 4, interchangeable based on my mood. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I like it. I like the love for 5. 5 is getting a lot of hate recently, so I appreciate this. 5 is a good movie. It's a lot of fun. I like it. So Jason, I'm glad you like that one. Good stuff. Ty Lee is saying we need more scary stories, movies. We have 3 books of source material. It literally writes itself. Like I said, I love the creature designs from that original movie. It was just a little too generic. It had a bit of a generic plot line to it. I wish we could have done a little more with that. It just felt like, yeah, typical PG-13 movie. It was fun, but I loved the best part about it was the creature designs, which were so accurate to the book, and I thought that was really cool. So I definitely loved that about it. I could have used a little more from some of the characters personally, but I liked it. It was fun. I'd be down for them to expand on that in a sequel for sure. Horror needs a parody type movie to keep them in check, kind of like the voice of the trolls on the internet, but in a more tasteful way than we do on the internet. We had that in Scary Movie, which didn't, it admittedly didn't age very well. A lot of jokes in there that are a bit yikes, but we could use a new take on this. Comedy is slowly making a comeback. Slowly. It's slowly rising out of its grave right now. So hopefully we can do something like that again. That would be fun. Maybe even a revival of Scary Movie, but just do it a little more tastefully, and less cut out some of the stuff about that original film, which I probably shouldn't talk about on YouTube. A lot of it, 50% of it is really good, but then there's 50% of it that's like that thousands angry humor. We got to make fun of everybody. We got to punch down because we got to be edgy kind of humor, which it's like, I don't know about that. It's one of those things where I feel like we all made jokes like that when we were 14, but it's like, okay, I'm in my 20s now. Can't really be making, you can't be making jokes like that. Or I guess that's kind of my mentality with it, at least. I could see an evolved version of that coming back, though, I guess is my point. Something that maybe a little more tasteful, a little more movie oriented with its humor, with its punches, especially. It always needs more cowbell. Always needs more cowbell. Hollywood guy, come on. What's a very hot take of horror do you have? For me, I think Halloween H2O is better than Halloween 78. Oh man. Oh, geez, and TCM3 better. Man, Justin, I'm gonna go cry. I'm gonna go cry, man. You're gonna make me cry here. No, I'm kidding. TCM3, man. TCM3, I think has a really solid moment in it with the golden chainsaw, and like that's, I don't know. That's about it for me. I wish I liked that one more. Those are some hot takes though, man. I like it. I love hot takes. They challenge what you think you know so well. I want to revisit both of these movies now with this in mind, Justin. I love that. What's a hot take about horror that I have? I'm trying to think. What's a movie that I really you're talking about sequels you really like over the original. I really like Final Destination 5. I like. Okay, here's an even hotter take. I really like Final Destination 5. Doesn't seem to be that hot of a take anymore, though. A lot of people have found that movie and been like, okay, I like that one. It's a good movie. You're right, Jake. But an even hotter take would be to say that I like all 4 of the Final Destination sequels over the original. And 4 is the only one that I'm like, I don't know if I can commit to that or not, because 4 is probably the worst one. But I think without a doubt in my mind, 2, 3, and 5 are better than 1. 1 doesn't work for me because they try to set it up like a slasher, and the other movies don't do that. They realize it's all about the big fucking events. It's all about the big, like, people dying on the highway in the second movie. You know, it's much more focused on that, where there's a lot of ideas that it feels like there's a lot of hands in the pot with the first Final Destination. They're throwing you one way and the other. The characters are definitely really good, but I don't love a lot of the way that original movie is set up. And speaking of that, for my Jason tier patrons for the next 5 months or so, I'm going to be reviewing all of the Final Destination movies for Jason and Freddy tier patrons and higher, because I think that would be fun. And y'all seem to like the early 90s stuff, so I figured why not do that for some of you special folks out there that keep this channel alive. Why not? So that's probably my hot take. I don't know. 4 is probably the worst in that franchise. Let's be honest. But 1, I think would be next for me in my ranking personally. I really like 3 is underrated. I'd probably put 2 next, and then 5 at the very top for me personally is how I would rank that franchise. I'm very weird with the Final Destination franchise. But I don't know. Devon Sawa is great in that first one. I really like him. But I don't know. I think 2 and 3 kind of master the setup, and then 5 takes it down a totally different route. It's interesting. Gunner's saying, can I tell you about this person's movies? Because I'm not going to try to pronounce that because I'm terrible at pronouncing things. Hit me with it. Throw it in there, Gunner. Throw it in there. My hot take, final fight between Laurie and Michael Myers in Halloween Ends is better than all of lame-ass H2O. Oh, hot take. I was not big on the fight. It felt very quick and very out of nowhere. It almost felt out of place for that movie to randomly turn into a Michael Myers movie again, personally. But I was like, okay, this is cool, but just wasn't set up very well. But I don't know, H2O, it has its problems. It is definitely not a perfect movie by any means, but I do really enjoy it. It's a very fun movie. I've heard that the 4K restoration fixes the goofy looking digital mask, which I have not watched yet. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't hate H2O. I don't love it though either. H2O is better. I'm just saying. Are you saying it's better than the original Halloween or Halloween Ends? Because now I'm curious. I'm curious if we have a couple of people who think that. Hot take, I liked the Swamp Thing. I hated the sequel, though. I liked Swamp Thing. I haven't seen the sequel, but I like it. It's weird. It's got some weird things going on, but I like it. Wes Craven, That's Wes Craven, right? Yeah, that is Wes Craven, I think. H2O mask is goofy. It is. Why do you have my face on your shelf? You left it there, Blucka. You you left your face there, mate. Come claim your face. You had to rip it off in my room here. Jeez. It goes back to basics. It's an intimate kitchen fight like 78. Yeah, in a movie that's trying to challenge all those basics, but yeah. I cannot wait for Evil Dead Rise. I can't wait for y'all to see it too. It's my favorite. It's probably my favorite horror movie of the year. I don't know. Right now, Infinity Pool and Evil Dead Rise are like at my top. I think I would put Evil Dead. Oh God, that's tough. That's really, really, really tough because I fucking loved Infinity Pool. I lost my mind watching that movie. I gotta see it again. When that movie comes out, I'm buying 100 copies. I don't care. But man, Evil Dead Rise. It might be my favorite horror film of the year so far. I really don't. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's up there. It's up there for sure. Daniels, you will like it. It is it does not disappoint with the blood and the guts and some of the more fucked up shit it does, which I don't want to spoil. Don't watch any trailers. Don't watch any trailers. Don't watch any of the clips that they're posting from the movie because they're trying to spoil it all, man. Don't just go into it blind. Go because I'm so happy I didn't see as much as I did going into that movie. I was like, I can't believe they did this. Like every 5 seconds, it was awesome. It was awesome. And like I said, it's like a typical Evil Dead movie. They got to set up some shit and, little character stuff, but then hits the fan like that. Bam. Does not stop. Okay, so this director you're talking about, it's about a guy this is his movie. It's about a guy that is kidnapped by 3, I can't say that word because apparently he had heard some conversations through a radio. So his best friend Zvepi tries saving him. Okay. I'll look it up. Algior Zvebepi is this director, I'm assuming. I wonder if I could just look this up. No? Did I spell that right? Al-G. Okay. I'm I can't spell. I'm real bad at spelling. As you can see from this. Just want to throw this in the old search history just so I have it. Okay, there we go. Bam. Got it. Infinity Pool is out on, I believe it came out on Tuesday. I remember hearing it was out on digital, but did it come out like physical release yet? Because if it did, I need to own this one. Infinity Pool. Let's look up Infinity Pool Blu-ray because they probably didn't release a 4K unless they did. I don't know. Oh fuck. Okay. Yeah. No, it's out. I just missed this. I just totally missed this. Look at me. look at me missing all this stuff. Okay. They got that. It is out. You're right. I must have missed that. I remember seeing the Scream 5 trailer when Halloween Kills was in theaters late 2021, and I didn't see it being successful without Wes Craven. I never have been so happy to be dead wrong. Yeah, I was very on the fence with any new people coming onto a Scream project. It's so specific. It's got a certain vibe to it. You kind of have to emulate a little bit, but I could see new directors taking it in its own new way. I think Radio Silence does that really well in those movies with the tone. If they executed anything really well in those movies, it was absolutely the tone of a Scream film, but also making it something fresh and something new without just being like, okay, this is, just same movie, same vibe as the other movies. They do something fresh with it, and I like that. I like that they do something fresh, especially with the tone. But I'm excited for what else happens with the future here. We have Radio Silence being a hot commodity in Hollywood right now, which is... It's crazy because what does that mean for the Scream franchise? Like, there's a lot of money to be made with these movies right now. They could make 2 more of these movies right now and they would make money. They would. We already have a better track record than the new Halloween trilogy. I mean, not numbers wise. I'm just talking percentages, exponentially. We've gone from making this much money to making this much money. We don't have that with the new Halloween movies. But what's going to happen next? Do we find new directors? Do we wait for Radio Silence to clear up their very busy schedule? What happens? What happens in the future next? I'm really excited to get the answer to that question, I guess is my point. I really want Radio Silence to do Scream 7, but once again, I'm not against Christopher Landon doing it. I feel like he understands Scream pretty well. Yurdy G is here. What's up, Yurdy G? How's it going? Thanks for the $5. I appreciate that. You're late to the party. That's okay. You still showed up. That's all that matters. 90 minutes late. Fuck it. Don't worry about it. Welcome. But what the fuck with Casey Becker being back? Tell me more. Tell me more. Yeah. Okay, so with this, Drew Barrymore is open to the very far-fetched idea her Scream character could have survived. I'm reading headlines on EW right now. But, yeah, so Drew Barrymore was in an interview and she was asked about her character maybe surviving. And basically she says to, like, the degree of, it's funny. I've never thought of it that way, but I'm pretty sure a C-section is comparable to what happened to her. Like, literally, and I'm here. I'm fine. So maybe Casey Becker will be okay. I see this as her being very jokey, obviously. She also goes on to continue. She finishes that off with good writing, you can make anything happen. But I don't know about that. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think it's her just being goofy. I would love, I love Drew Barrymore. She's amazing in anything I've ever seen her in. If it's the Scream movies, E.T., 50 First Dates, all good stuff. A lot of range as an actress too. But you can't do that. You'd retroactively ruin one of the coolest deaths in cinema history doing something like that. But I love that she is still actively involved with the franchise. She's super happy for the success of these new movies. And she even had a little voice cameo in Scream 5. So I think that's wonderful. I love that she's still involved. And I love that a lot of these people are still involved too. We had Matthew do a little cameo in part 5. We have Skeet Ulrich doing bits for 5 and 6. I don't know, man. I love that. I love that we have a Scream family right now that's just wonderful, and I love that it keeps growing bigger with every movie. We have Richie too. Jack Quaid did some stuff for Scream 6 as well, which was really cool. So I love that. I love that these people are so passionate about it. They would do anything to bring their characters back. I think that aspect to it is just wonderful and very funny. But at the same time, it would just ruin that. It would ruin one of the coolest deaths. So I don't think it's really going to happen. I think they're just joking around. But like I was talking a little bit earlier about the more interesting update here is we've kind of gotten confirmation that Radio Silence is working on a Dracula's Daughter reboot. And I believe our very own Sam Carpenter will be playing her. So I'm very hyped. I'm very hyped for it, man. Very hyped to see what else they do with that older idea. From what I've heard is an underrated movie. I have not seen that one. It's 1936, Dracula's Daughter, whatever the fuck. Daughter of Dracula. I can't remember. It is Dracula's Daughter. But yeah, I kind of want to check this out now because it's based off of that. We got that from a Production Weekly thing, which Yurdy, I'll throw up on the screen for you right now, my friend. We got this as you can see here. We got all the people that we already know are involved. Radio Silence are the directors: Tyler Gillette, Matt Bettinelli Open, being filmed in Dublin, Ireland. And at the very bottom of the screen there, Dracula's Daughter, with the working title Abducting Abigail. Both start with the same letter. Dracula's Daughter, Abducting Abigail. Bam. I'm sure we'll get an even different title at some point in the future. Maybe they'll just call it Dracula's Daughter again. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm into it. I love Radio Silence. Anything else they put out, I'm here for. So I'm excited to see what they do next. Stepping into some vampire territory here, which we're kind of we're getting a lot of vampire movies this year and maybe even next year too. So we might be going into another vampire hill. Like they kind of come in and out, zombies and vampires. They'll shoot up for a couple of years and then okay, we'll completely forget about it because it's like okay, we just did that. We just did zombies. The Walking Dead is over now. Come on, we're past that. But I love vampire and zombie movies personally, especially when they're executed well. They're always a lot of fun, I think. I was talking about 30 Days of Night earlier. Such a good movie. Such a fun, over-the-top vampire flick. Really good film. But That movie's awesome. We haven't had a banger zombie movie in a while. Peninsula was probably the last one I saw that was like, holy shit, that was really good. That's the sequel to Train to Busan too. If you guys, a lot of y'all like that movie, I hear. So we're getting a remake of that one soon too from Timo Tjahjanto. And I'm excited for it, but I just I don't understand why we have to do American remakes of movies that are already bangers and don't need any kind of continuation. We did that to Goodnight Mommy recently, and that's a really good movie that I don't think needs any more to it. It's a good one-off story, and that's all there is to it. Same thing with Train to Busan. I love that it's a killer story, and I love what Peninsula did as an offshoot. Less of a sequel, more of like this is just another story in the same universe. Love that. But I think that's all we need. I think that's all we need to do. So I like that. Yurdi G, though, thank you so much for the $5. And sorry for the very long-winded answer. we went into some crazy-ass territory there. Holy shit. Scream 6 has made $163 million. Love it. Making bank. Making bank. Could you all imagine the horror if Radio Silence are not on the next film? Oh, God. Never. Never. Don't even say that. Why would you even say such an awful thing? I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. Yeah, man. Oh God, you just painted a horrible image in my head. Do you think that Scream 7 should maybe go down the route where it's going to divide fans like Halloween Ends, or just play it safe? I think why Halloween Ends has divided fans is it did something really, really different. Here's my thing about Halloween Ends. Like, if that would have been another Michael Myers movie, I probably would have liked it. I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more. But I know there would be a lot of people out there that would have been like, well, this was just we just got 3 Michael movies in a row. They're all the same. I would disagree with that, personally, if that was the case. If it was like a movie that was about Michael Myers killing people in Haddonfield again, and then they, have a showdown at Laurie's house. If they were just to do that, cut the whole Corey thing from the story. I probably would have liked that film more, but I would get the criticism for, like, why was this 3 movies? Why could this not have just been, like, 1 or maybe 2 movies? That's why I think they went the route that they did with Halloween Ends. They maybe felt like they were doing the same thing with every movie, and I respect it. I do. I really do respect Halloween Ends because it's ballsy. It's very ballsy, and it's probably a movie we'll be talking about for a long time, whether you love it or hate it, because of that. And that aspect to it is my favorite aspect to Halloween Ends, is that we have a movie where a lot of people don't like it, but there's a very vocal minority that loves this film and that thinks it's amazing. And that's amazing. That's wonderful. Because there's a lot of movies that play it safe and then we forget about them. Then, 2 years go by, we're not talking about them anymore. I would much rather a new Scream film do something like Halloween Ends. Even if I hated it, I would rather them do that at this point than just do the same thing again. I would rather that. It's going to be divisive, but like I said, we're still talking about Halloween Ends. We're not really, a lot of us aren't really talking about Pearl. Some of us are. I think that's a bad example. A lot of us aren't talking about Escape Room 2 anymore. How about that? I've been doing these streams for like every week pretty much since maybe this time last year, I want to say, is when I started doing streaming. So it's been like a little over a year since I started streaming. And, there's a lot of movies that we still talk about. There's some movies we don't. Halloween Ends, we keep talking about. A lot of people hated it. I don't like it either, but we keep talking about it because it's so divisive like this. I would much rather a new film be something like that. Take a risk. Take a big risk. Take a big risk and fail, too. Fuck it. That's fine. As long as we see that you're trying to do something different, I'm into it. I'm down for that for Scream 7. Take a big risk. Like I said, give us a movie from the killer's perspective. That's something we're all actually interested in. I don't think we needed another killer in the Halloween universe, but I get what they were going for. And I think if they would have expanded on the idea of the transference of evil a little more in that film and less on the whole Corey getting beaten up by band kids, which is not something that actually happens, I think that movie could have worked and that would have been interesting. But it didn't go all in on the thing that we're super fascinated with in that idea. And that's the big issue with Halloween Ends, I think. With a Scream movie that focuses on like the killer's perspective, like going all in on that, you still have to give us a Scream movie. And that's where it's going to be tough. That's where it's going to be a risk, is you still have to give us everything we love about a Scream film, but also show us another side to it. So you have to give us a mystery still while unveiling the big mystery at the beginning of the film, which is like, how the fuck do you do that? It's a hard question to answer. Can they find that? Can Hollywood figure that out? Or is it just going to be something where it's like just the same old again? Or give us a movie where Ghostface wins. Give us just take it down a different edge. Give us a big risk with the next one. I like that too, Blucka. That would be super dark and fucked up, and we wouldn't be expecting it. I like that. That's a lot of fun. Villain Killin' Dylan, thanks for the $2. I do appreciate that support. Saying Blood and Honey is on DVD now. I saw that movie once, and I think I'm good. I might show it to some people. It might be a fun movie to watch with some buddies at some point. I want to get a movie marathon going on. It's been a long time since I've done that with some friends. But I might do something like that. That could be a fun movie to throw in there. I still have yet to see the new Children of the Corn because I don't want to pay money for it. But apparently it's going to Shudder at some point, so I'm kind of waiting for it to be on there. I really want to see that movie, but I've heard nothing but really bad things about it. So I'm kind of hyped for that reason. You know, it's going to be a good movie to hang out with your buddies and watch and probably joke about. This was one of those movies too, though. I enjoyed it. It's exactly what I expected it to be, and nothing else. And I don't know. I saw a lot of folks who were like, I can't believe Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey wasn't the best slasher I've ever seen. And I'm like, I could have told you 6 months before this movie even came out that it was going to be exactly what you saw. Man, I don't know. Wasn't a good movie, but it was silly. It was silly. It was goofy. It was over the top. There's one scene in that movie where they try to do like the Get Out shot, where it's the guy running really fast, but with Winnie the Pooh, and it looks like something right out of an Adult Swim, like Tim and Eric sketch or something like that. It's so fucking funny. I lost my mind. Like I was like, I had tears in my eyes. I was laughing because it's like the stupidest shot in cinema history. I love it. Like they were trying to make it so bad it's good movie, and I think they succeeded at that. It was just a goofy, dumb, ridiculous movie. Will I watch it again with some friends? Yes. Sure, is what I'll say, VKD. Thanks for the $2, though. I appreciate it. If you guys have not seen it yet, like I said, yeah, I mean, watch it with some buddies. Grab a beer, grab a Modelo. I don't know. What do you guys drink? Grab something. Get intoxicated and watch that movie. That's what I'll say. That's the best way to watch that film. Cost them $100K, brought in $4 million. There you go. There you go. Absolutely. Get drunk first. That's my 3-word advice for that movie. Get drunk first. There you go. Has anyone seen He's Out There? He's just standing there menacingly. Oh. That's what that reminds me of. I know that's probably not at all. It's probably not SpongeBob related at all, but watched it the other night, was majorly uncomfortable. Based on a killer home invasion with a mother and her 2 girls in a cabin in the woods. Ooh. Okay, he's out there. He's out there. Oh, this guy stinks. You ever see that from SpongeBob? I don't know. I got SpongeBob on the brain after that, but I want to check this out. He's out there. He's out there. Y'all have some crazy movie recommendations. I love it. Love it. Cocaine Bear is on Peacock today, says RJ. Nice. Awesome. I definitely want to watch this for a second time, too. This was a really fun movie. I was shocked by how good the characters are in this film. That was probably one of the strongest aspects to it. I wasn't expecting that. Aaron Aldenreich, is that his last name? And Ice Cube's son, I think, had a great relationship in that movie. It was very funny. I loved that he was like, the one guy was dealing with like a breakup the whole time, and the other dude was like, I don't care, we have to get this shit done, dude. It was very funny. There was some really funny shit between all the characters. The kids do drugs at one point in that movie, which was like, what the fuck? Like, holy shit, what is happening in this movie? But I liked it. It was a fun time. Another movie where I feel like people went into it with just really high expectations. My buddies went to go see that, and they're like, yeah, a mom brought their kid to see Cocaine Bear, and they walked out after they found out that cocaine and blood was going to be a part of the movie. And I'm like, I don't think people read titles for movies anymore. Like, I genuinely think people just go into, they're like, I just want to see a movie. Cocaine Bear? Fuck it. Yeah, let's go. I don't know, man. That's some wild. That's wild. I don't know. How do you make that mistake? How are you like, yeah, my 4-year-old can watch this. My 4-year-old can watch Cocaine Bear. Fuck it. Thank God, if I'm ever a parent, I'm going to ruin some kid. Like, I'm going to absolutely just fuck with their minds. I'm going to be like, they're 3 years old. They can watch Evil Dead. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Look at him. He's fine. He's 3 years old. He just stopped wearing diapers. He just stopped wearing diapers. He can watch Evil Dead. It's fine. Oh, God. I hope I never have kids. I hope I never in a million years have kids. That is on the internet now. So if I ever have children, they're going to watch this stream back and be like, Dad, you're a piece of shit. And I'm like, listen, I showed you Evil Dead when you were 3 years old. I shouldn't have done that. And they're like, yeah, you fucked us up with that tree scene. Jesus Christ. Anyways, the cop that followed them was a great character. Everybody was great. Scott Cease, who's a really like an Instagram, TikTok guy. I love that he was in the movie too. I'm a big fan of his. He does like the angry retail worker guy bit, which is really funny to me. He's in there like that. Cop and Cocaine Bear was in 1408. Ooh, I just bought that movie. I haven't seen that in a long time. The cop was actually really good now that I'm thinking about it. He's on the top of the gazebo at the one point. It's very funny. Very, very funny stuff. I just bought 1408 though, Ty. I watched that movie when I was way younger because my parents were also decided to let little baby Jake watch horror movies way too young. I watched this movie at a super young age. It scared the fuck out of me. So I'm super hyped to rewatch this one since I bought it recently. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to revisit that one. I haven't seen it in a while. But I remember having very fond memories of it, being like, this was terrifying. Oh God. I'm gonna cap the stream off though. I love talking with you guys so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I want to leave you with one last note. As with everything I do on this page, I want to leave you with thoughts in your brain. Keep thinking about horror movies. That's the goal of this page, and we're gonna keep it that way. That's always gonna be the goal of this channel. But if we expand into more things here, if we start opening up different floodgates to other kinds of movies, I hope you all understand. I hope you all understand that that's just what we have to do here. We have to do that. But it will always be horror focused. I promise you that. But sometimes you gotta evolve. You gotta keep changing. You can't just be the same person over and over and over again. You can't just keep doing the same thing. People are gonna get sick of it. With that being in mind, I hope that same ideology moves into a Scream 7, no matter who does it. You can't just be doing the same thing. You got to evolve with the times. You got to do your own thing. You can't just rely on your laurels. You can't just rest on your laurels. So I'm taking that advice recently. Hopefully the Scream franchise can do the same. And I hope maybe you can apply that to your lives somehow too. Find some philosophical bullshit in that. I don't know. Maybe you found something more than you were looking for from this Scream stream. I recommended a bunch of crazy random movies. I try to do that too. I think that's fun. But I do appreciate you all being here and hanging out with me, talking about horror movies regardless. So we will be live again tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We'll be talking about just some more horror bullshit. It's going to be a very fun time. Hope you guys loved this little update we did talking about Scream and all this other stuff. It was a blast. We'll talk more tomorrow. It's going to be good time, and Sunday I'm going to be completely busy. But I'll have a big update video that I'm working on for Monday. Check it out. I want your guys' thoughts. Doing some big changes to the channel and to my second channel too. So want to hear you guys' thoughts on that on Monday. We'll talk then. All the love. Hang out tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Peace out. Become a channel member, too, if you want to see that Frailty review tomorrow. It's going to be fun. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there. Y'all